Hey friends, I'm Frenny, aka Friend the Human,
And I'm Slappa.
and this is Vibes and Delights. We took a long break, okay? We took a long break, and I feel like I'm still not ready, but I love the community that we have, and I have a plan so to help my own brain. So with this plan in mind, I feel better about like restarting. Okay, so like I felt overwhelmed. Like I got a new schedule. I work 10:30 to 7 and I really do not like it. It's really cutting into all of my time, and like it's different. Like when you work early in the morning, if something happens, you can't really deal with it because you're already in the throes of work, right? Because it happened early in the morning before you went to, like, for example, like you go to work, you wake up, you roll out of bed, you go to work, it's like 7 in the morning, things start happening through as the day goes on, but you're like, whatever, I'm at work, right? But when you go to work later in the day, there's more of a chance for you to take care of your business. Maybe you're going to run to the bank, but say the reason why you're calling those places is because something is wrong. Now you're dealing with that, and then you have to go to work after. I was trying to handle my business, I was trying to do my regular posts, then I was going to work, but like all the things that I was trying to get done in my personal life before going to work are really affecting me, and it's like really bumming me out, and then I have to go to work with my brain all fried, and it's just like I just needed a break. But now that my schedule is starting to get back to normal, like I still just feel worthless because um like even though I'm trying not to do things in the morning, I'm like trying not to stress myself out in the morning. It makes me still feel like I'm wasting my day. And so like I just feel forever frustrated. It's like a never-ending loop of frustration for me. And like I was told that I can't change my schedule until next year most likely because all of the pools are closed for the rest of the year, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, I've decided that I said it a few times this year, but then I always seem to get back on track. But lately, ever since, like, if you're in my Discord channel, join the Discord. But if you're in my Discord channel, you'll know that, like, we sent the kids back to school, and, like, the school, if you didn't know, said that they lost my son, and they said they lost my daughter too. I don't even know how this happened, but somehow while they were walking home, Slappa came and got the kids and was walking home. The school administrators were calling me all the way in Richardson, Texas. They were calling my sister all the way in Louisiana, and everybody was calling me asking what the fuck is going on. And I'm in Richardson, nowhere near home, and the Slappa and the kids are on their way home, and then they fucking lied to me about it, and it was just gut wrenching, and like I just felt like everything was out of control. It was chaos. When that was happening, I was in office, and it felt really embarrassing because like I've never freaked out like that. Like I didn't even know I could escalate like that, you know what I'm saying? Like I flipped the fuck out in the middle of my job, and people saw me, and people were like, she needs to get out of here, and I was trying to get out of here, but my brain was in such a state of panic, and I just got this position. And so like all of these things keep happening. Like my schedule's weird. The school like really fucked me up, and I feel like low key embarrassed at my job even though I'm pretending like nothing's happening, but my brain remembers, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just really stressing me out. So and then on top of that, like my like my TikTok channel is like, I feel it's not dying, but I feel like it's just, I don't know. And then I accidentally logged myself out of TikTok, and then like it like reset my whole page, and like I'm doing somewhat decent numbers again, but still my numbers are still trash. Everything is just kind of like piling on myself, and like not to mention the holidays are coming, and like it's just like kind of all like it's all coming together. That's all I can
No.
say.
Yeah, it's been a rough fucking month. I don't know. Has it been for y'all? A lot of our friends have been right there with us, just going through one thing after another.
Yeah, and someone like told us just like on Saturday that like Mercury was in retrograde this whole time, And if that, I don't know if that's true or not, but the feelings that I was feeling this past month, I believe it because like I got a lot lower than I ever have or than I have in like the last probably like 10 years. Probably the lowest that I have been in the past 10 years. And like so oh, and then I found out, oh my God, it keeps getting worse. So I was thinking I was telling Slap I think I should go back to therapy because I just don't know what's going on. None of my coping mechanisms are working. Like, what should I do? You know what I'm saying? Let me, why not just go back to therapy, right? And then I find out that my insurance is like all fucked up. Like I screwed up. So so like apparently we're signed up on some sort of 80/20, meaning the insurance pays 80% and we pay 20, and that's why we were paying out the ass earlier this year when I found out about my knee and my ankle injuries and stuff like that. So like I can't even go to therapy right now. Well, I guess there's like, the EAP program where you get 3 free or whatever, you know what I mean? But I can't even go comfortably to therapy right now because I don't want to pay 20%. I don't know what that is, you know what I'm saying? So until we renew our insurance, then we so it's just been like a fucking what is it? It's like a comedy of errors at this point. Like I just don't know what to call it because like it's like everything is there, but it's not in the right place. You know what I'm saying? It's just everything has just been kind of building and just kind of spiraling and escalating, and I'm super glad for the break. I got to tell y'all, but man, I'm still trying to figure it out. But what's going on, honey?
Um, we started this new partnership with Wyatt Perp, and and then we've got this partnership with Wyatt Perp. It's going all right. Um, Another thing that got added on that might have been overwhelming you, so we're
Mm,
kind of going slow with it too.
mm,
Um, and one of the cannabis shop friends, Travis, invited us out for a meeting and has a lot of ideas for more kind of consultation kind of work we could do with people because we that's basically what we did for their shop.
yeah, he was basically saying like, yes, keep doing your content creation, but you could probably make a lot of money off of teaching people how to do this for themselves. And I was like, oh, yeah, how do you do that? And then we like started talking about it. He like took us to brunch or breakfast. It was straight up breakfast because it was like before 8 o'clock. But like he took us to breakfast and we had a like nice discussion. I wrote up like a nice email and included like a really pretty picture of myself and all the things that I can do. And he's like talking about like maybe we're gonna do like tiered packages or something. Like I don't know. It's really interesting. I'm excited to see how it plays out. If I'm being totally honest with you, but yeah, it's been really transitional, but I guess that's good. Like I've been complaining about being stagnant, like maybe my page is too stagnant. That's why I'm losing followers, right? Like that's why I feel like my page is dead. And that's why my YouTube channel feels good because it's new and people are noticing it. Whereas my TikTok is old and everybody has already, come and gone, like I don't know. I really truly don't know, and it's just beating up my self-esteem if I'm being honest with you because like it's hard to like you get good engagement, you get good content and stuff. What is it? Is it me? Like that's what it starts coming to is like maybe they just don't want to listen to the colorful haired black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe they're just tired of me. And like that's really what my brain has been telling me like bitch you should probably quit. Like I'm going to like ease up off the Reddit rainbow for a couple weeks like until we get this adjusted, and I'm just ready for therapy. I think that's what it is. I think I'm just ready for therapy anyway. But this week's episode is gonna be it's I just want to chill. I just want to chill with you guys. I feel like I put too much pressure on myself to perform, and I've always said that like I just want to be like we're hanging out like friends. Like we're just getting caught up. We're hanging out in the living room on like nice comfy couches or in like special chairs, you know what I'm saying? Like and we're like passing around a bowl. We're having drinks and like that's what this should always be and that's what it started as. So let's keep it that way. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I just needed that friendly reminder that I don't need to be perfect, you know? And so I just want to say thank y'all. Anyway, so Slappa's been compiling stories because he's actually been very supportive this whole time. And shockingly, um, they're all wedding themed. So like this is like a story this is an episode about wedding fails like what
I'm kind of like, really, I've been secretly trying to get you to propose to me because it's been going on 12 years now and you still haven't proposed to me.
well
So,
technically much like yourself well unlike you got the opportunity because I totally stole your opportunity. I proposed to you twice.
when?
I proposed to you the day I said I wanted to remarry you and you said that I had to like maybe quit drinking so much. And so I proposed to you again. And then you said, bitch, shut up. I don't know what you want from me. Do you want me to? Dearest Slappa, married to me by the state of Texas, you belong to me. And you always will. Will you marry me again?
Okay.
Yeah! Score one for the Friendster. What like didn't like Chucky Finster say that shit? Like he was
For
like
the Finster?
score one for the Finster. We like Slappa woke my stupid ass up early this morning. He was like, let's wake and bake before the podcast.
It's hard to record this podcast when you get off work at 7 because you want to not do anything after that.
It's very true. Or
And
like
it's,
you're raiding.
yeah.
Or you're
And
tired
like,
from wrangling the children.
it's an issue because this is Vibes and Delights, and we always like we vibe and delight, and then we record, and can't really do that with your schedule anymore. So I figured we would vibe and delight as soon as we woke up and record, and maybe that'll work.
It was fun. I will say it was fun. It was a relief. Like y'all want to hear about my morning? Slappa woke me up and whispered, "It's gonna be a good day" in my ear, and then he was like, "Wake up, bitch!" And then he handed me like a drink. Like it's like 8 in the morning. Was it like it was like 9 in
It
the
was 9.
it was probably like 9 in the morning, so it wasn't like early, but I've been like not sleeping great. So like I went to bed at like almost 2, but didn't actually fall asleep until like 3. So that was like okay. I should have maybe woke the fuck up, but maybe I was just still really high. But I don't know. Anyway, but like he wakes me up, he's like, "It's gonna be a good day. Wake up, bitch!" And then he hands me like a drink, and then he's like, "We're gonna wake and bake," and then he hands me bismuth. Bismuth is the name of our bong, if y'all didn't know. And then he like turns on YouTube and like he like starts playing Nick Saturday morning cartoons, I guess. What, I don't even know what it was. All I know is that Rugrats started playing.
It's like some dude compiled like a Saturday morning segment of cartoons out of like old cartoons and commercials, and it kind of feels like Nickelodeon back in the day.
I don't think
But it's definitely way less commercials, and I remember there being so many commercials
no,
during cartoons.
I don't think so.
Really?
I think that was an actual
You
broadcast.
think that was a real broadcast?
I do. I think it was a real broadcast on first Saturday morning, like Friday night into Saturday morning. And like cuz like it was like all that like briefly, and then it was like the Rugrats, and then it was like Kablam, and then in like there was commercials, and I didn't realize maybe I was low key one of them rich kids. Like I'm always saying I'm never a rich kid, but like
Every
but
commercial,
like
she was like,
I
I
had
had
one.
that.
Yeah, I sure did,
I
man.
remember that.
I had all them toys,
I
bro.
had that one.
And then like the like Legends of the Hidden Temple, right? Yeah, that shit came on and I was like, man, I hate these kids, man. And then like the last team, it was like the Green Monkeys. It was the black child, the only black child on the whole episode, and she was part of the Green Monkeys. And I was like, and then oh, what did you say about the studio? What did you hear about the studios?
Oh, I was like, I've like, cause they showed like the parents in the audience and stuff, and I was like thinking like they have to sit there, and what I heard was like it stinks. You know, like how
Well, they're
gym.
teenagers going
No,
through puberty. Of course
it's
they
like it's a
stink.
big gymnasium, right? Like those stink like sweaty kids already. But this is
Do
the
they really?
Nickelodeon one where they use it for all the shows. They switch out the sets and stuff, and they said it stank because all the slime would get up under the like gym mats and just become moldy, gross slime, and they would not just like strip it out and clean it off.
Ew. Oh, that's so much worse
And
than
you
what
were
I was
saying they
thinking.
like recorded multiple shows a day and were just like
Yes.
cranking kids through it.
Yes, like I'm pretty sure those shows like Legends of the Hidden Temple and like what was that show? What was that show? You better put that orangutan in there. But like Figure It Out, I used to love the show Figure It Out. Like those shows, like they just run contestants through those shows. So like they would just reset the set and like keep going, you know what I mean? And so like that's what I thought you were talking about. I didn't think that they used it for like Drake and Josh possibly. Like
I think
maybe
all the
shows
like
like maybe
game
like
show
all
type
that.
shows they use the like same gymnasium
Or
thing.
what about like oh maybe
Yeah.
like the game
I feel
shows.
like anything they had like game
What were
show
the other
type
game shows?
stuff.
What was a favorite game show you used to watch on
Ah,
Nickelodeon?
man, I don't
I
know.
want to hear what y'all have to say in the Discord
I
channel.
remember
Join
one
the
where they had to
Discord.
like reach in a nose and pull like the right colored thing out.
I
What was
thought that
that
was
one?
Figure It
Was that
Out.
Figure It Out? I
I
used to
don't
like that one.
like there was like a head, right?
Yeah.
And it was like a like it had context clues on it. But you said they had to reach up.
It was like a
Double Dare.
double dare, that's it.
Eh.
Yep. Double dare, that was it.
What do you remember about Double Dare?
Nothing, just really the nose thing. They had to like answer questions and do little dumb. It's like that Bob's Burger episode.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that's basically the show. I feel like
Oh, and they did have slime,
yeah,
didn't they, in that Bob's
or
Burgers episode?
Floam.
Oh yeah. And it was all the same studio too. And Bob's Burgers. Oh my gosh. Man, the amount of shade that they threw. Like, okay. I will say that like okay, Fox Animation, they knew what the fuck they were doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they were the Simpsons, right? Like that's where the Simpsons originated was on Fox, right? All I'm gonna say is Fox Animation was doing it shit back in the day, okay? Because they had the Simpsons, they had Futurama, they had all the Matt Groening shows. Truly, they had Bob's Burgers on there. They had Family Guy on there, and now Family Guy is terrible. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they tried to transition into the not okay with like insulting people, but it's just not. It like falls flat now for Family Guy to me. How do y'all feel about Family Guy? I would love to hear that.
When's the last time we watched a new Family Guy episode?
I turned on Family Guy from the start, maybe about 2 months ago, but I quickly quit because like it just got really racist really fast, and then it occurred to me that it was because it was the time before we started transitioning into the like giving a shit about people, if that makes sense. So like, anyway, So like Slappa wakes me up this morning and he puts on like old school Nickelodeon. There's like Legends of the Hidden Temple came on and I was mad about the Green Monkeys. And then what show came on after that? It was like no.
Rocket power.
Rocket Power came on, and it is so crazy because last night I saw an episode of Rocket Power that Tony Hawk posted, and I thought that it was going to be the episode that Tony Hawk did when he landed the 900 and then went missing. But then they went hunting for him, and he was just in his like hawk cave with a brand new bowl with a giant hawk inside of it. Like, it was pretty tight. But I was just like, oh man, these graphics. And then I was like, oh man, you remember playing them games on Nickelodeon? It was just a good time. Anyway. But like, anyway, so like, that's what's been going on with us. That's how we started today. I hope your day is good. Anyway, so before I got horrifically sidetracked, and I'm pretty sure that's why y'all are all here anyway, I said that Slappa had been compiling stories, and coincidentally, all the stories that he chose were like wedding related. I wonder why though. Is it because, oh, you know what, I bet, you know what? People go on vacation during the summertime, you know what I'm saying? They like plan their weddings either at the end of this year, so we're coming into winter wedding season, right? Or they're just getting engaged and like they're doing wedding planning, and like they're thinking about wedding stuff, and so they're talking about it because they recently got engaged. I don't know, but somehow Slappa found all wedding stories or all stories related to weddings. All right, so let's go ahead and go with the first one. Also, I hope you enjoyed the new setup that we're about to show y'all. We're still trying to get used to it ourselves because apparently our green screen is a lot smaller than it used to be. And if y'all want to know if y'all want to know what to get us for Christmas, that would be a larger green screen. Okay, thank you. Okay. Or bigger mic stands. Yeah, bigger mic stand. Or
Stop.
microphones. No. A new camera, like a better camera that we can carry around. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. Slappa tell me to shut the fuck up. I don't care, man. People tell me if I need it, I should just ask. So here I am asking. So let's go ahead and just jump into all of these Slappa's choices. The first one being, am I the asshole for not stepping down from being the best woman at my best friend's wedding, knowing his future wife hates it?
No.
So you're calling it already?
Yeah, you can't be the asshole because someone hates you. Like, your best friend's getting married and their fiance hates you. That's not your problem.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be a part of that wedding.
I could see that. But I mean, if your best friend specifically invited you
Specifically,
to be the best woman,
I feel like if my best friend were to invite me to their wedding and I was on the opposite side and their spouse didn't like me, I would want to resolve that before doing that, like stepping into the role, period.
right?
Like the day that they asked me, I would be like, hey, okay, that sounds great, but what's going on with us, right? Because like people don't understand that when you're wedding planning, it's really intimate and it's really exhausting, which means you're going to spend a lot of time with these people. Like you get really friendly with the bridesmaids because you talk to them often while you're planning, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to resolve this before I even accept the position. But let's jump into this slapper's chore. I know practically everyone hates the female best friend, but I've been best friends with him, Richard, since we were 7. He was my biggest support when I transitioned, and I am practically a bonus mom to his 3 sons, which I adore so much. They have their own rooms at my house. His ex-wife up and left when the boys were pretty young, 7, 5, and 5, and he was really depressed and broken for a while. So when he met his fiancé Blake, I was happy for them. It became clear she didn't like me much, but she wasn't rude, so we were cordial to each other. Or at least I was. He proposed 3 months ago, and the wedding is set September 25th. He, of course, asked me to be his best woman. I didn't think it'd be much of a surprise to Blake, but she's become cold since Richard asked me. Since last week, he took me to go buy the dress and he sent her pictures of the one I picked to see if she liked it. 2 days ago, she called me and asked if I was willing to change dresses, and I told her I couldn't since I already bought it and it was pretty expensive and on sale. So it's not like I could return it, and she said okay and then hung up.
Why does she want to change the dress?
Why didn't she change the dress before you paid for it?
Right.
Like, that's what I'm upset about. And, like, what is she, like, period, what is she so upset about? Is it the fact that the OP is trans? Or what, like, and, like, also, she, as a woman, as a bride, should know what it's like to order a dress. You know what I'm saying? You have to order it in advance. You have to make sure it fits. You have to make sure it's altered. And all of that shit is mad expensive and takes time. You have to literally buy a wedding dress either immediately, like if you're getting married that same year, you have to go get a wedding dress immediately so it'll be ready by the time you get married, right? It takes like somewhere between 6 months to a year for your wedding dress to be ready. Why the fuck is she asking her to change it when she's already paid for it? That's crazy. Anyway, today she called again, and I guess she was tired of lying to herself because she told me she didn't feel comfortable with me being the best woman, and she said she's been trying not to rain on Richard's happiness since she knows how much Richard loves me and wants me to be a part of the day. She asked if I was okay with just stepping down and being a regular guest, and I told her why would I do that? He's my best friend, and I want to celebrate him the most I could, especially on this day. She got quiet, and then one of her friends grabbed the phone and started degrading me, calling me all sorts of names, and I just hung up. Now I'm wondering if I was wrong. I get it's her day, but it's his day too. And if he didn't want me there, he would have made it clear. I haven't told Richard yet, but I'm starting to think I should. Talk to some of my other friends, and they're split half. Half thinks she's wrong since me and Richard's relationship is purely platonic, and we've never crossed that line, but the other half think I should just step down to not drag this drama. Am I the asshole? No, but I'm not going to read any more of this. Oh, please tell Richard. Yes, please tell Richard.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't just tell the best friend immediately.
Right. Is she anti-trans? Is she both? I want to know what you guys think about this because, like, first of all, why the fuck wouldn't, like, first of all, okay, again, I'm just like, how old are these people? Because the whole story, it was atrocious, right? But like, why wouldn't you tell your friend that their wife is disrespecting you? Like, why wouldn't you tell your friend that their partner is disrespecting you? And why is that a question? You know what I'm saying?
Like, why is she going straight to you to try and get you to step down instead of talking with her husband or future husband about how she feels about it? Because she knows it's out of line, and he's gonna be like,
Yep.
"What?
Yep.
That's my best friend."
Yep, that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely just talk to him. I feel like that solves the whole problem. You're not the asshole at all.
No.
Because that's crazy.
No. I'm not even going to call you an asshole for that atrocious story I had to read with my eyeballs. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Try to get back in the saddle.
Would I be the asshole for calling off a wedding because my fiance is extremely frugal? With the final update.
Not the final.
Yep. Is the final update. Trigger warnings of abuse and manipulation. It's sad, but generally positive. All right.
Okay.
I, 31 female, struggle with my fiance, 32 male's frugalness, and not sure if I want to marry him anymore after a 3-year relationship. I met my fiance 3 years ago. He came out of an abusive marriage just 2 years before we met, on whose end. One of her absolute abuses was financial. She bled him dry, made him buy expensive jewelry only to give it away or break it after an argument. Designer shoes, clothes, big house, cars, Caribbean trips, you name it, she made him pay for it. She also took him to the cleaners in the divorce. However, my fiance is very well off. He makes far over 6 figures, almost 7. On top of that, he inherited a few millions from his grandfather, and his parents gifted him and his siblings also a few cool millions. Jeez. So yes, the financial abuse was bad, but he does not suffer financially. He has more money than he will ever need.
Okay, then he's using financial abuse wrong, or the
That's
OP
not,
is.
yeah, that's not financial abuse. That's
Just manipulation and just being a jerk.
Yeah. Well, I don't. You married a gold digger, I guess, and you paid for everything. But you're rich also, so that's kind of just like a regular lifestyle. If you're making like $1 million a year and you have millions from your grandparents and your parents gave you a bunch of money, that's kind of just the lifestyle, like jewelry, trips, cars, houses, like I don't know.
So I literally looked up what financial abuse was, and it quite literally says it's a common tactic used by abusers to gain power and control in a relationship, right? So the forms of financial abuse may be subtle or overt, but in general, it's concealing the information, like how much money you actually have, limit the victim's access to assets, meaning like he was paying for those trips. He wasn't like making her pay for them. It would be abuse if it was the opposite.
Yeah, so could she even financially abuse him by getting gifted things from him?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And then it says reduce accessibility to the family finances. It doesn't sound like that was what was happening. It just sounds like he
would have to be doing that.
Yeah, he would have been the one to be doing that, and I don't think that's what was happening. It just sounds like she just was a worthless bimbo who didn't actually love him. She just loved the lifestyle that he provided for her, which isn't financial abuse. It's just mental abuse. It's just emotional abuse. It's just narcissism. I don't know what else to call it, but it's not financial abuse.
Being used, I guess.
Yeah, I guess she's a user.
Yeah.
I guess that's really what it is, but anyway.
So last year, I moved into his house. I do not pay rent, but I split the bills and buy food. I pay for my own clothes and jewelry. I have a good job, and I can take care of myself.
Okay, now this sounds like financial abuse.
What?
Okay,
paying the bills?
Because she says, I don't pay rent, okay, but I split the bills and buy food for what? Okay, and she pays for the food. She pays for her own clothes, fine. Jewelry, though, why'd she have to bring that up? You know what I'm saying? Did she, like, point to a pretty necklace one day, and then he was just like, I don't want to get you no necklace, you fucking weirdo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why'd she bring up jewelry? I have a good job and I take care of myself. Okay, but shouldn't we all be doing that? That's the bare minimum. Like, even at my job, they like half of, like, you know how people are like, half the battle is just showing up. No, it's not. That's like 10% of the battle. You're required to be here. You're required to have a job and take care of yourself. It's messed up, but that is just normal behavior. Why are you saying that here? You know what I mean? It's just upsetting that he like warped her into thinking that he experienced financial abuse when he just got. I guess what it really is like when a scammer like actually like they take advantage of you, and it feels like egregious the way that they took advantage of you. They finessed you into giving over their like your money, and I feel like that's what this is. He just is upset that he got finessed. Okay.
Let's keep going. However, things have been taking a turn for the worse, and I feel miserable. His house was empty when I moved in. He had hand-me-down furniture, maybe 3 forks and 2 knives. Okay, what? Why'd you move in here? He wouldn't put on the heating, so the house felt cold and moldy. He has no curtains, no decorations. His ex took everything not bolted down, and he was too cheap to replace it. Just imagine $1 million house like that.
We've been to $1 million house that's kind of like that, but
a lot of them are.
A lot of them are. And then, but like, again, his ex took everything not bolted down, and he was too cheap to replace it. So
How long they been dating?
it kind of, I wonder, did she pay for the furniture and just took what her furniture was?
Well, how long they been dating? 3 years ago, and they're just now moving in together.
Last
Year.
year.
Okay, so they've been together 3 years. She just moved in last year, so they were dating 2 years before she moved in, and he had gotten divorced 2 years before that. So that's 4 years of this guy living in this house like that. Is this the first time she saw the house or saw how he lived? Because why would you agree to move in with him if that's how he lives?
And also, like, that makes me feel like, again, did she just pay for her own furniture? Or even still,
Is
maybe,
he even rich, really?
but even still, maybe, maybe he did pay for the furniture, but it was furniture that she wanted.
She picked
And
it all
so
out.
she picked it all out, so she took the stuff that she wanted.
I mean, if he's lived like this for 4 years, obviously he never cared about any.
Right. Like the OP seems more pressed about it than he does, it feels like. Now, the cold house, though, that's fucking crazy.
I'm grateful that I can live in his house. It's something I could never afford myself, but I didn't want to live in squalor. Did you not know how he lived before you moved in?
That's also, ooh,
That's crazy.
God. I wonder, did he come over to her house all the time?
It must have been, because there's no way you didn't know that's what the hell you were moving into.
Ugh, crazy.
If you didn't just move in there without seeing it. So I bought some kitchen supplies, some furniture. But at some point I realized I was dipping into my savings all the time and he did nothing.
Okay, that is financial abuse.
I looked into curtains, but those things are expensive. His house has so many windows, it's crazy. I didn't want to pay for this anymore.
Also, when I used to work at Lowe's, man, you should hear the McMansion, like, you know, the recently married, big giant rocks on their hands, you know. Um, oh my gosh, there's so many windows. Why are there so many windows? And then I used to respond to them and be like, well, when you were building the house, why didn't you just choose less windows? You know what I'm saying? Because like my parents had like there was like an area of the house that had 4 windows. They could have had 6. They could have had 3. They could have had 2 windows, but they chose 4. You know what I'm saying? So I would be like, oh, well, when you were building the house, why didn't you choose less windows? You know, just joking around like, ooh, my parents just got a house. You know what I'm saying? We just built a house. It was fun. And then they'd be like, oh, we didn't build it. We just bought it. And I was like, oh, so you never built your house? Got it. Man, I used to clown them people, bro.
Oh, you didn't build your house. You bought it from someone else? Shameful. Rich kid.
For real, though.
My daddy built his house.
My daddy built the house. And
My
asked
daddy
me-
had this house built custom.
It was. It really was, though. Ours was the only house like it in the entire neighborhood, including the inside.
You rabble, just buy your houses.
But anyway, that's I just wanted to share that with y'all. Anyway, that was
I told him
18-year-old Freddie.
I needed a fund to furnish his house. He blew up at me that I was just with him for his money.
What?
I pointed out all the money I spent on his house, the gifts and the trips, because he pays for nothing ever. Because he wants to be sure I'm not here for the money. The fact is, if we break up, I have nothing. The house is not mine. If I spend all my savings on his house, I'll be left with absolutely nothing. He wants a prenup, and I'm fine with that, but I can't help but feel used.
Wow.
Next to that, I am jealous of his ex-wife. I feel like she got treated and I am neglected.
Oh.
Yes. He proposed to his ex on a cruise with a $10,000 white gold diamond ring.
Okay.
I got the rhodium plated Swarovski stuff that might cost like $100. The proposal was at a picnic in the park I organized, paid groceries for, and slaved in the kitchen for. I almost said no out of pure disappointment. You should have. If he's actually like, if someone is actually rich and they just don't spend any money on you, they give zero fucks about you. Like, they have so much money and it would cost them really nothing to give you regular ass shit that a regular ass working person would spend on someone they loved.
Right.
Right?
Like we've had plenty of dealings with people who have a lot of money, okay? And a lot of those people were mad generous. Like we didn't ask for anything. You know what I'm saying? They just gave it to us.
Right. Like this is I'm like doubting he has money at all. He just has like the house and that's it. He's just broke otherwise. Something like that going on. Cause, bro, if I had money, the things I would buy for you. You know what I mean? Like,
Vice versa.
I don't understand that.
And like, you know what's crazy is like most millennials, they just want to be fucking comfortable.
However, I'm afraid to bring it up and be called a gold digger. I don't want to be funding a millionaire's lifestyle. He loves everything as long as I pay for it. As soon as he has to pay for it, it's frivolous and unnecessary. I can live like a poor person by myself.
Okay.
At least the fact that there are literal millions lying around doesn't hang over me to bum me out, and I would just be paying for my own lifestyle. Exactly. Would I be the asshole for calling off a wedding purely for financial reasons because I love this man, but I imagine our cheap wedding in contrast to his ex's extravaganza? Will our future kids be able to have some luxuries, or only if I pay for it? What if I ever become a stay-at-home mom? Will I have to beg to put the heating on? Yeah, probably. Edited to answer questions I see a lot. I know the abuse is not made up. His family and friends told me separate stories of the abuse they witnessed. Not only did it confirm it, it showed me she was way more terrible than I thought, like stealing heirloom jewelry of his grandma with Alzheimer right after she was widowed, pretending she was gifted these things even though everyone knew grandma hated her guts. I did not realize or see he is doing the same thing to me as she was to him, and he is subconsciously punishing me for what was done to him. She's giving him so much like leeway with this. It's subconscious.
Like, I don't doubt that she hurt him, okay?
Right.
That ex, you know what I mean? But it is just not financial abuse. It's just, she just sounds like a terrible person.
Right.
He needs to go to therapy. That's what he needs to do.
Well, he's not going to pay for it. I am not trying to force a lifestyle in him where he was previously happy in. He told me prior to moving in that he left his house like this because he was depressed after his wife took everything, even the curtains, that it makes him sad and he wants a cozy. So sell the house. He wants a cozy home. Sell the fucking house. God
but even
damn.
still, that just reinforces, like, you know, I said it jokingly, but everybody could use a little therapy, myself included, you feel me? But, like, they met 2 years after the divorce. He still hadn't even furnished the house. He's punishing her 2 years later for what his ex did to him. At what point do you say stop? At what point do you just fucking go to therapy? At what point does the abused become the abuser? I guess that's really what it is. Right here, this is the point.
He just didn't know where to start. I've ran into this a lot. Like, I used to do like expensive screen porches on like high-end condos and like McMansions and actual mansions. Like, we did a gold-plated screened-in porch one time.
What the fuck?
Yes. Like, money. And like, usually the people were like cool, regular-ass people, but like the times they were like really negative people like this, they hated everything about their expensive ass house. They would not shut the fuck up about everything that was wrong, that they need to get fixed or changed, or they want to do this or whatever. It's like, just sell it. Like, you don't like this. It's too big for you. Sell it. These people never do. They want to live big because they have big money, but they don't like it.
You know what's something that I just like thought of randomly?
Hmm.
Okay, my mom, whenever we would start having people over at the house, she would like point out the things that were wrong with the house. Because and like one time I asked her, because like there was like a very obvious large crack at the very top of our ceiling. And it was because our foundation was screwed up, because everybody in the neighborhood was having foundation problems, because apparently there was an underground river that they just built over and didn't like anyway. But anyway, so the whole street was just fucked. Anyway, so my mom would actively point out all the things that were wrong with the house, and I one day asked her why she would fucking do that. And I was like, Daddy once told me that people don't look up. They probably wouldn't have noticed it if you didn't point it to them, right? And she was like, well, I mean, I assume that they're going to look and talk about me later. And I was like, but why would you think that? And she didn't have an answer for me. And I think that's like the big thing with all those people is like yes, they have this big ass house, but they didn't actually like it. You know what I'm saying? Just like they don't like their partners, just like they don't like their marriages, they don't like their lives, and or they think somebody's out to get them all the time, which is also why people like the phone thing. Remember we were talking about the phone thing, we could put a pin in that. But like people automatic like people who don't like going outside because they think somebody is going to make fun of them. They think people are going to be looking at them and stuff like that. This is all coming from the same place. It's all coming from the same place that they're it's main character energy. Like that's like the best way to like put it is like they think that they're so important that people are constantly looking at them and judging them and critiquing them and things like that. So if those people were like pointing out their flaws, I think that that's where that's stemming from, is because, oh, I'm supposed to be like rich, but my house is fucking garbage.
But it wasn't.
But
That's the
we
problem.
don't understand because we're not on their level. So we think that they're just being vapid and crazy. But the truth of the matter is there's probably actually something amiss, but we don't give a shit. You see what I'm trying to get at? I feel like it's all like a mental game. It's like they think that we're judging them because yeah, you're rich, but your house looks like shit. But to us, your house looks nice because it's a rich person house. You know what I'm saying? But like, you see what I'm trying to get at? It's like we're on different planes, but also they're projecting their own insecurities. I think that's really what I was trying to say. But y'all know me. I be after the story, I'm done.
Okay.
Anyway,
Rich people problems.
rich people problems for sure.
His house is paid off thanks to Granddad.
Okay, so nepotism.
That's what I'm saying. He's like a trust fund kid. He isn't actually spending much on utilities because you're paying for half.
So what? Yes.
House is very well isolated and has solar panels. It is weird to see how cheap being rich really is. Wow, crazy. Who would have thought? I am not asking for designer furniture. IKEA all the way. And I have refurbished secondhand furniture myself. I'm actually pretty thrifty. I see where my jealousy over the ex and her lifestyle might have triggered some people. Let me explain. A $10,000 ring is insane and stupid to me. I don't want that because I would fear of losing it every day. I don't need an over-the-top wedding. However, it almost feels like for her, he did all the effort and wanted to give her what made her happy, put the effort and thought in. With me, it almost feels like he wants to prove how little he can give me. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
He's like literally playing a game because he wants to prove that someone loves him for not his money so much that he's not going to give you anything that costs money ever.
Yeah.
And when you finally leave, because that's fucking insane for anybody to be with someone and not ever try to help them in any financial way. Like, why are you together? Like, you're trying to live together, but not live together. So eventually,
Together but separate.
it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, she only wanted me for my money. She left me because I wouldn't give her any money.
Yeah.
Like, any money, bro. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He talked about how he would like to see the wedding. And it's cheaper than my actually financially struggling cousin is. at her wedding. That's what I was talking about. Like a regular ass working person would spend more and they don't have it. And you're not even spending as much as them.
Right.
It's crazy. Like people
'Cause
spend on shit that they value and you should value your spouse the most.
And that's another reason why it's like financial abuse, is because they're hiding that
They're hiding
from
the
you,
money.
because like your cousin,
Or withholding.
your cousin knows what she can take and what she can afford and what she can do with her money, but you don't know what's going on. All you've got is your side of it. You know what I mean? So, ugh, hate it.
I can't help but feel he wants to demonstrate how cheap he can treat me. Yes. And I already feel embarrassed about the family that would have been to both, and I will feel like the discount wife. I don't like to say it, but it feels like he gets off on it to some extent. We're almost talking washing paper plates. We are almost talking about washing paper plates at this moment.
I would have left.
No, that's crazy. I remember seeing a TLC show where there was a mom who like washed the paper plates.
Oh, I
and
knew
recycled
people.
all that stuff.
I
Like,
knew people.
that's an insane frugality that you do not. He definitely does not have to be doing.
Yeah, like one time I went over to my friend's house and they had like the hard plastic plates, you know, like not the cardboard ones. And she started washing them. And so I joined in because I'm like, my parents told me, like, if they're washing dishes, you see the kids washing dishes, you help the kid. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they're doing, like if they're washing, you dry, right? Anyway, so she started washing dishes, and then I was drying, and then I was like, hey, where did he go? And then she was like, over there. And so there were real plates in the cabinet, but I was putting these reused plastic plates on these real plates, and they weren't even fancy plates. Like my mom had the fancy plates that were only for family. They had the china for when my dad's like work would come visit, and then they had the regular everyday plates that all of us used all the time. But all I'm trying to say is that our parents had different sets of flatware and plateware and kitchenware depending on the occasion. We weren't washing like paper plates. Like that shit was crazy. I told my parents about, like, because my parents would always be like, so what was it like? What was their house like? You know, what did their parents do? Like, because they wanted to know who they were possibly going to have to be associating with if we become more friendly, right? So I'd have to give them the rundown on the parents. So like these people, I was like,
Always been a snitch.
I guess, man. Like I just want to be honest, because I was a really sheltered kid. I didn't have many friends, so the friends that I was allowed to have, I had to know a lot about. Okay, anyway, but like regardless,
That's where you learned follow-up questions from your snitching days.
I guess you're really right. But that's again my dad. Remember, because I told y'all that my dad like really took me under his wing, and all the time I realized that I think my dad was trying to teach me how to mask for like, and then like now I don't have that anymore, and I feel like I'm spiraling out of control, if I'm being totally honest with you. But anyway, but yes. So like I was telling my parents that I was washing these plastic plates. I wasn't allowed to have dinner at that house no more. I had to go home. That, and then like imagine like having your own car, going over to your friend's house to do like a group project, school project, choir project. It's dinner time. Okay, I gotta go. That was me. I had to leave at dinner time. Yeah, that was crazy. Anyway.
Yes, I did discuss selling the mansion I really don't need and move to a more modest house, especially knowing this is the house his ex picked. He doesn't want to do that. He loves this house.
Okay, so it's not even a family house. It's like literally the house that his
ex picked it and grandpa
Wow.
bought it for their wedding or something.
Okay, well, I respect that.
But I would sell it still. Like,
Or
he
use it
hasn't
as a
moved
rental
on.
property.
He's still. Who the fuck gonna rent that? That's crazy.
Or Airbnb. Hey, that bitch
maybe.
with the boobs.
What? He loves this house, but I feel really intimidated living in a house I could never afford anyway, and so many large windows. Jeesh. I haven't talked to him yet, but pause on the marriage, and counseling is a must. I already am looking for individual counseling because I realized I might indeed be too much of a people pleaser, allowing him to control me with the ghost of his ex. I also am going to separate for a while. I'm looking to rent something for a few months so I can get some space. Thank you for all your comments and insights. All right, update 1. I hope this update makes sense because I am very confused and not really doing that well at the moment. Well, Reddit, you changed my life. Thank you so much for all your ideas and insights. Honestly, I don't think I would have had the courage to do what I did without you guys. I went to therapy, took the day off just to get my racing mind to calm down. Therapy has confirmed things you guys suspected. I am a people pleaser. I wanted to save him, and I have internalized the idea that any effort and every penny I want him to spend on me makes me a gold digger. I will have weekly sessions to work on me. I realized I would have never taken this treatment from any of my exes, even though I made more than them. The idea I had to prove myself worthy to be with a millionaire and not be in there for the money got in my head pretty early. I called one of his siblings I'm pretty close with and just told her everything. She was not surprised, but just sad about how unhappy he was making me. She told me that from the day we started, he had this idea that I was out of his league. He struggled to understand why I wanted to be with him, and he probably just thought it must be my money. She told me she already talked to him in the past to treat me better. She was furious about the proposal.
Oh my gosh. Why didn't she say something to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, say something to your family, but like, check in with them like, hey, are you good? Because I know that was a little, like, sad.
This information confused me a little. I was a little hurt she never discussed any of this before, but she thought it was none of her business. She also explained how she and her husband organize their finances. He also doesn't have as much as her.
So is it common that women are making more than their partners?
It is nowadays.
Then how come the red pill okay. Then how come okay, you know what? I'm going to say it. How come the red pill podcasters then keep saying that they need, what do we bring to the table when it seems like we're bringing more?
It's projection, really.
I know. It's just how easily and accidentally we disprove it, right? Like how easily we often disprove these red pill podcasters, but then to accidentally do that, you must have been, it must have been as flimsy as like some melted ice. Like, bro, what the fuck is this logic?
I took the opportunity to pack a bag. I haven't found a place. I haven't found a place yet, but I'm going to stay with my parents. I made up my mind that I will at least want 6 months apart to get myself in order. I made sure my stuff was in the car because honestly, I had no idea how the conversation would go.
And not to mention that, like, you got all your shit into your car, but you live in a mansion. Right.
Plus all the shit she already bought for that mansion.
Right. Ugh.
So into the most difficult part, the talk. I waited for him to come home. He was pretty late, but I didn't want to sleep another night on this. Pretending I was fine while I was contemplating all this just ate me up. I had written down what I wanted to say. I have never been so scared before. I didn't want to hurt him, and I didn't know how he would react. I took some advice from here. I opened that I was moving out and that I wanted to pause our engagement.
Are they maybe not from here? Because they keep making like some weird choices.
People just can't write.
But Z and pause, that's like, I get onto like, into, so let's get into, like, you know what I'm saying? I get that. But pause with a Z? Okay.
He was very quiet and just sat down. I told him he really hurt me by calling me a gold digger and that I'm done walking on eggshells and feeling guilty for just wanting basic things. I told him I was unhappy and felt neglected. I also told him that after 3 years of me showing up for him, he still doesn't think I'm here for him. It's not gonna happen. He was just quiet. He didn't say anything. I told him that the constant comparing to his ex was unhealthy and unfair. Punishing me for her sins was abusive. I told him comparing her to me all the time has triggered me comparing myself to her and starting to feel like she was worth more than me. One of the things about her was mostly ungratefulness. He would do nice things for her, but it was never enough. The thing is, he doesn't do nice things for me, and I have to be grateful for the pleasure of picking up the bill. Fuck no.
Absolutely insane.
3 years with this? What did you love about him? Honestly, he didn't ever do shit with you, for you. Like, you had to do everything to, like, so, like, he was just, like...
Was he at least good looking, I guess, you know? I guess. Like, what else was there?
Right. Like, he didn't pay for any dates or nothing? Like, what? How'd y'all even meet? How'd this start?
Right.
Did he love bomb at the start? Because there's no way. There's no way you would just be like, oh, you don't pay for anything? Okay, we'll date. And then do it for 3 years? And find out he's rich? Nah. I told him he's not ready for marriage, that I dreaded having kids with him and living like this, that I didn't trust he would take care of me if I just became a stay-at-home mom. And at that point, I just called him abusive and a user. I was getting pretty angry saying all of this out loud, losing my composure and script a little bit. He remained quiet with almost no emotion on his face. I stayed quiet, but nothing came out, so I decided I would just leave. Only when I got up to go, he said, please don't go. He asked me if I was pausing the wedding or calling it off. He wanted to know if it was over or if he still had a shot.
But no, So he said, please don't go. Like, also, anytime we ever have, like, a disagreement and, we have, like, an argument and we're, like, talking it out, like, I fucking hate it when you're just like, babe. What? Like, what do you want from me? Like, it frustrates me to no end. Like, Slappa hasn't done that in a while.
Do that all the time.
Yeah, he really does. He's like, babe.
I like to gather all my thoughts and say something, but, like, she likes to just get it out.
No, I'm just like, gather your thoughts, okay?
Yeah.
But don't start and then say nothing. Like, that frustrates me. And yes, I am incredibly impatient, but I know I'm being impatient. And, like, so I will, like, talk myself out and then I'll just wait because I know he needs time. But when he, like, stops me from just blowing myself out, like, when I'm just like, you know? And then, like, you know? That's like, that's like what it's like for me. But if he stops me before that and he's just like, babe, like, that frustrates me to no end.
I'm like, babe.
Oh my gosh, I'm just like, like, I just like, it's so funny, like, how we argue because, like, he argues like me now. And I argue like him now. Like, I feel like I just, like, want to get away and, like, gather myself and then do it. And now you want to just duke it out, but you can't because you don't function that way. You don't function that way.
We'll duke it out turn-based style.
Like Final Fantasy X style.
Just give me it's my turn. Hold on. I didn't end the what's the tap phase or whatever.
I don't even know.
Turn over. Okay.
Oh.
I didn't say my turn's over. Hold on.
Oh, you didn't intern the intern phase. The intern phase.
It's not your draw phase.
Gosh. Anyway, that's so funny. But no, for real. Like, I just thought that was like a tickle. That was like a funny moment to me because, like, I fucking hate it when Slap does that shit. Oh my gosh.
I told him I wanted out of this house. I honestly don't want to live in his ex's palace of sadness anymore. I needed him to go to therapy and especially financial therapy. I needed a separation. I told him I was open to couples counseling if he went to individual counseling.
But honestly, he doesn't need financial therapy. He needs a goddamn accountant if he's so fucking worried about it. Anyway.
He does need therapy, though.
He does, but not also, financial therapy. Like, he just needs regular.
If you're separating from someone, just separate. Like couples counseling was supposed to happen a year ago.
Right.
Like when the problem started becoming a problem,
Right.
not once it's fully fleshed out and you're trying to leave because of the problem.
Right.
It's like sad to say
Right.
that's an end point. You should not try to hold on to that.
Right. We actually read a story recently, and I don't know if it was on Reddit Rainbow or on Vibes and Delights podcast, but we read a story in which a man was just like obsessed with his wife, and like they like he was asking the internet questions, and they were like, man, I hope your wife leaves you because you're a clingy fuck, you know what I'm saying? And I don't, if y'all remember in the Discord, join the Discord, what story I'm talking about, please like, you know, put it in the chat or whatever. I bring up that story because they went to regular individual and couples counseling. And I questioned at first, I was like, why are they doing that? They sound ridiculous, you know? But then he mentioned in passing that they wanted to get through things before they came up. They're very proactive that way. And I couldn't be mad at it. That you're absolutely right. It should have happened long before they got to this point. But like you said earlier, he probably wouldn't even pay for it
Right.
if they were to go. So like it's just unfortunate.
He begged me not to do the separation, but honestly, I really, really wanted it.
Really.
I just told him to think about it, and I left him. He was finally showing some emotions. He was crying at this point.
Therapy could have helped. But also that fucking sucks, you know what I mean?
He sent me a very long text somewhere in the AM, told me he was a wreck and couldn't sleep. He made all kinds of promises. He would go into therapy, sell his house, buy a smaller one, and make sure I'm taken care of, whatever happens. He said he would help me decorate and we'll make a home. He again asked me to please come home. But to me, it doesn't feel like home there anyway. Like, this is all way too little too late.
Right. It's just
like, you should have sold the house when you got it after the divorce. Like, she took everything else but the house. Should have just sold it, bro.
right, but at least she's acknowledging her part in this. Like she could have tried to make some of these changes, but she
She coulda?
herself was also a people pleaser and thought that she could make him want to make these changes by himself.
And fix him.
Yes, and fix him, but unfortunately we can't date potential, and I'm so glad people are starting to realize that now. You have to date them as they are. And then if y'all change together, that's awesome. But you can't date someone who doesn't exist. You have to date what's here in the now. He was an asshole back then, and he's an asshole, and he's going to be an asshole in the future. And I don't mean he was an asshole back then. I absolutely believe that he's jaded because of his ex, right? I'm saying like at the beginning of your relationship, back then, he was being an asshole back then. He's going to be an asshole going forward. So he needs to figure that out by himself.
Get it together.
Stop. At least take your shoes off or something. Anyway, you were saying?
If he doesn't go to therapy or anything, I think what he's gonna take from this breakup is he needs to sell the house, and then he's gonna like buy just a little place, and the next person he dates, he's gonna like try and figure it out better. Or he's just gonna keep being an asshole and be alone.
Or do you think he's gonna make the mistake? He's gonna like do like maybe a smaller apartment or something like that, and then he's going to love bomb them and then taper away. What if he's gonna try and find some medium?
He's gonna overreact.
He's gonna overcompensate.
Yeah.
And then that next person's
And
gonna also take advantage. He has to find balance.
Right. He's gonna overcompensate, and they're either gonna take full advantage of it or gonna be someone like weirded out by that. Like, whoa, chill. Like, you don't have to buy me everything.
Right. I hope he figures it out. Whatever happens.
I feel very empty and tired. I've been asleep most of the day. I feel guilty, but also a little bit relieved, if that makes sense. I don't know if I actually want to go back if he does all that. I don't know. I'm a little unsteady right now. I need some time to process. I'll go back for the kitchen supplies and my TV. I won't take anything else of the furniture. This is the exact reason I was unwilling to buy everything. His house is huge, so the couch is huge, and I can't take it.
All right, I'm going to cut in here because I don't think either one of us were prepared for how long this was. I thought it was a short 2-part story, but And we chose a different longer one for the ending. So I'm
But
just
here
gonna.
we are.
But here we are. I think it might just be this one story, which is fine because it's a good, restart. So all right, cool. All right, so update 2, July 4th, 1 month later. Hi everybody. Let me just say, hold on. Let me just say, I am overwhelmed by the number of people really caring about me and asking for updates. Strangers who care about you is a feeling like no other. Thank you. So, as I said, I left. I'm looking for an apartment I can afford. My parents are helping out. I'm living with them and saving up. I'm not closing all doors, but as for now, we're broken up. I have no contact. So, he's not even, he was crying and shit the first week, look, I be learning sometimes. Anyway, the first week he transferred a large amount to my account, but it really rubbed me the wrong way. It just showed me that he still thought that the money was what was keeping me here. I deducted the couch I left and transferred everything else back. I asked for no contact after this. Okay, that was mixed signals to me, but okay. He has been respectful of it, and I feel free at the moment. I feel guilty for my needs, for wanting to be taken out every once in a while. And the longer I'm out, the harder I realize it was abuse. I have an autoimmunity problem, and the cold house caused it to flare up. Even after that, he kept turning it down. He would rather have me miserable than pay what, $100 by the end of the next year? $100 extra?
It's just to keep it a few degrees warmer. That's all she wanted.
And I bet you it wouldn't even be that because he's got solar panels. Bro. The last thing I heard is that he put the Palace of Sadness on the market. I've seen the ads. Wow. So he even paid for it to circulate. That's crazy. I wonder if he put it to circulate so that she would see that. Wow. I heard from his sister that he's in therapy. I'm happy for that, and I hope he keeps it up. He's keeping his promises so far, but I need to see real change, and even then, I really don't even know. I'm building my own life by myself, thinking about getting a puppy. If I give him another shot, it has to start from scratch. I want to start dating again, and I want to take it slow. Therapy is a really good idea. I now know I was just bringing this upon myself as a people pleaser, a savior, wanting this man to be happy so bad that I forgot about myself. Never again. So that's all there really is to say. Okay, so I was right then. So she's already acknowledged her part, that her people pleaserness allowed him to take advantage of her as well. And I'm glad she's sticking up for herself.
Yeah.
All right, there's another update. I'm going to go ahead and read it. Thank you for everyone reaching out to me. I have closed in on a little apartment for myself and I got a puppy. After being in a home where I was truly loved by my parents, I realized how sad, cold, and alone I had been. Over time, I went blind for a lot of things. Blind to a comfortable home temperature, comfortable with thinking about every penny spent, feeling guilty for buying that dress I wanted for so long that was finally on sale, feeling entitled for wanting date nights. I started to think about what makes me happy. I love to travel, dress up, go to nice restaurants, throw dinner parties, entertain people, think about Christmas gifts 6 months in advance, have a cozy house, and I just realized how much he had taken from me with that one little sentence. Is that really necessary? Is anything ever? If you have a roof, food, bed, and a TV, you're all right. Is travel necessary? Is having nice clothes necessary? Is a shower necessary? A haircut, party, wedding? No. I now know that abusers are not per definition bad people. He's just broken and has trauma. I just don't have time or energy for it. He got free from abuse and decided to become the abuser. I know he is in therapy and we initially agreed on 6 months no to low contact, but I felt like it was certain it was not for me anymore and I didn't want to keep him dangling. Breaking up with him was very hard and it made me very sad, and I never wanted to hurt him, and I loved this man very deeply. I wanted us to be each other's happy ever after, and we both came from dark places and I wanted us to thrive together. His family told me I was the one. I was everything he was looking for and I felt so lucky. But we only have one life, and he has so much work to do before he becomes the bare minimum of what I needed. I feel failed. I feel like my story has a bad ending. I feel very broken and sad. I will take my time to just be me, and I hope he does the same. I truly hope he finds the one and becomes happy. Mostly, I hope that for myself, but for now, I am enough by myself and the puppy. Thank you for all your time and support. I'm going to have a little cry.
Some things that kept me on my path during leaving my abusive relationship. This is 4 months after the last update. I was in a financially abusive relationship. With enough time passing, now I'm more comfortable with the word abuse. I fought it for a long time because he did not scream at me, hit me, or call me names. He just used triangulation and the image of his abusive ex to use my own kindness against myself and to get me to fall in line. I spent my savings on furniture, luxuries, and nights out for a goddamn multimillionaire just to have some comfort in life. Constantly trying to prove I was no gold digger by having zero needs, living in a cold house, and buy him everything he could ever want. I never lived an impoverished existence like when I was with a person who actually had loads of money. More than I could possibly comprehend. When I left, I really struggled to keep at it. I was so scared to go at life myself to actually have to pinch pennies. He kept telling me what I wanted to hear for so long. He went into therapy and begged me to come back. It digged into my resolve and made me doubt if I was making a mistake. A few things made me go on. My colleagues, who are more friends than coworkers, knew all my stories in detail and hugged me and told me they were so proud of me for leaving. Their feeling was so authentic, it rubbed off on me. I was so proud, and I couldn't let them and me down by going back. My boss once passed my office when I was working late, and he said, "Never give men second chances. They never change. You deserve someone who gets it right from the start." I don't know what prompted him to say this to me, but it stuck with me.
I wonder if his wife almost left him or something and he like continued being a fuck up. Or maybe he almost fucked up this bad and his wife gave him a second chance.
Well, what if he has an ex-husband who did the same thing?
Ooh. So he either did it or somebody did it to him for sure though. Like for him to unpromptly tell you that, hell yeah, something has happened. Also, I hope that boss is okay. We'll go take a nap, ting ting. Anyway.
My trainer, who knows some stories, said to me, "You gave everything to get less than nothing back. It's like me getting $100 from you, and to repay you, I'll take another $100 from your wallet. Why would you want to take that deal again? He has a debt with you he can't repay, and I don't mean cash. I mean emotional energy, love, and kindness. I read somewhere, don't wake up in the same miserable place 10 years from now because you fear the change you have to make today." That hit me very hard. I bought my own apartment. I felt like a poor little mouse being surrounded by people who make my monthly wage in a few days. But the fact is, I have a very good job. I earn far above average, and I'm able to have a nice place, nicely furnished, and I can even support a puppy. I live by myself, but I feel endlessly more warmth than in a relationship. I love myself way more. I'm not riddled with guilt over wanting to have a cozy house, go out for dinner sometimes. I am so happy I dragged myself out of this relationship. I kept at it and I moved on. Keep going. One foot in front of the other. It is hard, but you can do this. I'm proud of you. And here's OP in the comments. The money's gone. I'm not going to get that back or fight for it. I even had to block him because at some point he got petty and wanted me to pay rent for the time I lived with him. So there's no way I was opening that discussion. I thought he was going to therapy and trying and stuff. What the hell is that?
He probably started drinking at some point to help him go to sleep at night. That's usually the path they take. You know what's like fucking hilarious is one time my ex drunk called me and he was like, "Do you know what I'm doing right now? I'm getting high. I'm getting high. Did you know that?"
Okay.
Yeah, and then like a couple days later he got pulled over because he was DUI because he was drinking and smoking, which you do that and you stay home and do that, okay? You don't go to other places and do that. Yeah. He probably got upset and called her in the midst of his like drunken tirades of going through pain. "Yeah, I'm such a terrible person." No, give me money.
Whatever.
I went
Lesson
to
learned.
therapy today.
I may look poor compared to millionaires,
Give me
but
my
I'm
money.
doing fine. This sister and I did get along for a while. We share a hobby and talked about that. But recently, I've been official and out in the open with my new boyfriend, and she struggles with this. What? Why? Maybe she was hoping it would still work out or something. I don't know. But she's been a lot colder. So she was just there to kind of keep tabs on you and hope to push you back to him.
Yeah, but I never understood why people would remain friends with family members. Like, I guess people could say the same about our sibling, like your sister's ex or whatever, but that person was more of a family than your actual family was. You know what I mean? But, like, they let us be. They weren't in our business all the time like this person seemed to have been. You know what I mean? So like, I think that's like the big obvious difference is that is now our chosen family because of the trials and tribulations that we all went through. But this person was just obviously keeping tabs. You know what I mean? So like that's a big difference. So if you have somebody like that in your life, you know what I'm saying? With a grain of salt. Hear me with a grain of salt, okay? Because I've seen both sides.
Just be careful of it.
But just be careful and just know that most of the time those people are going to take care and care more about their blood than you most of the time. Like your in-laws, once you and your husband break up, your in-laws might become like extremely cold to you because they have no obligation to you anymore. It's just how it is sometimes. Anyway,
It's just the way it is. Things will never be the same.
that's just the way it is.
This
Oh,
man.
yeah.
This man.
Oh man.
Wow. Wow. This man. Wow. People say never settle because there is better out there for you. I never believed it. Honestly, I was ready to be a crazy dog lady for the rest of my life. That sounds so much worse than a crazy cat lady, honestly. like the crazy cat lady.
Listen, okay, I wasn't gonna say it, but I'm
I
with
feel like
you.
a crazy dog lady would just like be muddy in general.
You know what? Okay.
Unless they never let their dog outside, which is worse probably.
No, I was gonna say nah. I think okay. So y'all in the Discord channel, join the Discord. And if you're in the Discord, I want to hear what your definition, like, what is a crazy cat lady to you? What is a crazy dog lady to you? Okay, because like my thought, like at first I was thinking, oh, it's like one of those people who lets the dog on the counter and eat up out they plate and off they like forks and shit.
But imagine 4 dogs.
Right. But then there's also the dog ladies who actually take care of their dogs and like run with them
Right.
and like they're fit together.
It's
like,
a
you know what I'm
spectrum.
saying? Like,
You know, there's
yeah,
the
I
high
guess.
functioning crazy dog lady who has like superior trained like
Guard dogs, essentially.
Who was it? Like Halle Berry and John Wick. She had like crazy trained dogs. That's a crazy dog lady.
Also, I've never seen any of those movies.
I think it was Halle Berry. I don't know. It's been a while.
But yeah, I would like to know because like a crazy dog lady to me is like a lady that puts their dog in diapers unnecessarily and maybe like lets the dog eat out of her plate as she's eating, like something like that. It's gross.
What about the ones that open mouth kiss their dog?
Oh, gross. Or like if I'm being honest, like we're not dog people, but like we had somebody in our lives who's huskies. They had huskies and they were always inside, always crated. And so that to me is like a bad dog owner. But then that person also, the dogs would jump up, be all up in your vaginals and everything like that. And like are all up in your booty cracks and like your booty holes and all of your orifices. And she would never call it off. It's like, yeah, I took a shit today. Like, what else, bitch? You can smell the next one coming. Maybe I should go home because I don't like pooping at other people's houses. But I'm just saying, like, the fuck are you smelling? Get away from me! That's why I'm not a dog person. It's because of I've had too many experiences with dog owners like that. But crazy cat lady, as long as when we hit about 6, We're about done. I'm out. I'm out.
Above 6 is for
About
sure
above
crazy.
6 is too many for me, but I'll handle about 2 3.
2 or 3 is average.
4
Cat
is kind
lady.
of pushing it.
4 or
5.
5 is starting to get obsessed.
Yeah.
6 plus, you crazy.
Yes, too much.
Crazy girl.
I'll wait outside.
You love them cats though, girl.
One time I was in somebody's house and like I sat on a cat. I didn't mean to. It was under the blanket. I just sat in a chair. There was like a blanket on the chair. And I sat on a cat and I felt so fucking bad. Like, no, you
It's
have too many
alright.
cats. I'm sure it is. She like it growled. It like, it ran the fuck off. Like I felt bad, but anyway.
I was enjoying being single. My friends urged me to start dating just to get the hang of it. He was my third date. I went against my will and was 100% not into it, but when I saw him in real life, OMG, sparks flew like never before. I'm in my 30s, so you would have thought I experienced it all, but this, wow.
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 Also, that's how I felt about
Makes
you.
me want to eat a hot dog real bad.
Oh my god.
He is everything my ex was not. He's kind and caring, cooks me dinner, gets flustered but is grateful for gifts he gets. He treats me to dinners, will not even allow me to go Dutch on it. Yeah, fuck the Dutch. He has planned and booked dates and trips month in advance, even before we were well and a good official. Buys me gifts. He is not as wealthy as my ex, but he makes a good living. His income is comparable to mine, but he treats me like a queen. And between me and you, and all Redditors that dig this deep in the comments, the love making is insane. I guess giving people give everywhere freely. So he eats. He's a eater.
Oh no.
Please take away to never settle, ever. Trust the process, babe. The cat distribution process. For you crazy cat ladies. You gotta believe.
What the fuck are you talking? What cat distribution?
That's how you become a true crazy cat lady. You don't go and take the cats from places, they come to you. It's meant to be. Okay? You can't force it.
She's a dog lady. She's
Right,
not even a cat lady.
There is no dog distribution service. People
They
just
wish.
take dogs from each other constantly. I swear to God. There's no like people don't pick up stray dogs. Dogs are sent to the pound immediately. People just are like, "Oh, your dog got out your fence for 30 minutes? I got a new puppy, guys." That's how dogs work. Is that all of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible. I'm glad she's out of that. I couldn't imagine finding out someone I was with is like a multi-millionaire and doesn't have to pay rent or anything, and they just treat me like shit like that. I would have left immediately.
Yeah, I gotta say, that at least I'm glad they're out. I'm glad that they realized, but it's like I don't know. I just like I found that OP like a little exhausting near the end. It was hard for me to stay focused on the story. If I'm being totally honest with you.
That's why I started getting goofy.
Yeah, because like I don't know. She was like that comment about like the I'm in my 30s. You think I would have seen it all? What does that even mean? Like you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like
you
half of
hit-
these.
The night you go from 29 to 30, you become old and nothing else ever happens to you when you're old.
Right, but like I don't know. It's like I guess like I've like maybe this is like the first true trauma she's ever had.
Maybe.
Maybe like you know like maybe this is like she's been through things.
Maybe
like
she like did it right and went to school and got her career started and then met this guy. So
maybe.
she's never like seen how terrible a man will be.
maybe
Yes.
maybe like I really don't know, but like it just sounds like insane to me that like you know that like she thought she couldn't start over, but so many of those people do that, but like it takes more than this. Like she like knew early. She knew right away she didn't want to marry him because she didn't like the proposal, but people will stay and stay for years. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels like naivete. She was just like really naive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of naive, but it's like you're naive to just like how society has lied to you about.
Yeah, like,
Like
it's like crazy to me to
how deeply ingrained it is from an early age that like you're only worth being together like as soon as you become an adult. Like that's like it. And if you don't get with someone immediately, you're used up and no one wants you.
and also like that makes me further believe that she really hasn't dealt with anything because she was 31 at the beginning of the story, right? And they had been together for 3 years. So that means that she was about 27 years old. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, you see it all the time, I guess, really. You know, people go through the motions of life and everything is going great. And now you have, like, and then all of a sudden your husband has a midlife crisis and cheats on you with the like 20-year-old secretary that just graduated college, and now you're having to start over like completely, and like you've never had to scrimp and save and thrift and go to thrift stores and like go on Wick, like you've never like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like basically I'm just saying like all these people like are thrust into a new reality for themselves, right? And
Isekai.
like for real though, like for some of these people it straight up is like an isekai, because now they're single moms when they've been married and they've been in two-parent households their whole lives, and then all of a sudden now they've got everything and everything is riding on them and they have no support because nobody in their family has ever gone through something like this. You know what I mean? Like you see that story all the time. So I guess maybe I'm just being a little hard on her, like, because how can you see it and then talk yourself out of it? But I guess that's part of the abuse, you know?
Yeah, it's very common.
But also for her to be like, you think you've seen it all by the time you're 30, but like,
No.
what is, like, I keep bringing it up and I keep failing to elaborate on it because my brain escapes me, right? But like, but all I'm trying to say is like, you graduate high school and then I feel like you're early to, I want to say until like 22 years old, I feel like that's just you trying to come to terms with having freedom, like as an adult.
That's just like
Right.
the awkward transitional phase
Right.
between being a child
Right.
and an adult. Really,
What from 22
like you're figuring
to
out
like,
what even is an adult at that point.
right, and then from 22 to damn near 30, it seems like I think we all start waking up around 27, 28 years old, right? All of our friends that are in their 20s, in their mid 20s, all of our friends who are in their 30s, in their mid 30s, in their late 30s, I feel like we're all saying the same thing. Our early 20s was us trying to figure out what an adult is. Our late 20s is us trying to figure it out for ourselves. Our 30s is implementing those things for ourselves, because at first we were doing it for society, but now we're not. And now we're doing it for us now. You know what I mean? And that's the big difference. And like, I feel like we all do this. So like for her to say like, I'm in my 30s, you think I've seen, I think you're a baby. I think I'm a baby. If I'm being honest with you, I'm 34 years old.
I'm the baby.
You are, comparatively. Like, I feel like I've lived a lot more life than you. And yet, on the flip side, you've lived more life than I ever have or ever will. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know. I just, like, I feel like her mentality is, like, kind of crazy. And then that last part about her not getting none, and, like, she, like, the mouth feel, the body feel, I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how long was she dealing with that? Like, it's just, I'm glad she's out, I guess. I'm just rambling at this point.
Yeah, you are. That was a good ending, I guess. She's
Yeah.
getting some.
Yeah.
She's
Honestly,
not having to just pay for nothing.
and you know, like, I think it's honestly kind of beautiful as well, because like clearly that last dude, it's his first relationship possibly
Who?
out of,
Oh, the guy like out of divorce.
Yeah.
It's like the rebound.
Yeah, like, but I don't think it's a rebound because it wasn't that fast.
Don't matter.
But I guess a rebound is a rebound.
I think the first one's always a rebound.
You think so?
Especially off of divorce. Like, I've always heard, like, don't ever be the first person a divorced person is with.
I'm so glad that she found somebody who's willing to do these things with her. And it seems like this is his first time doing these things too. You know what I mean? Like maybe getting serious enough and like getting in like intimate, or it feels like to me maybe this is both of their first like serious true relationship. You know what I mean? Because whatever that was, that didn't seem like a real relationship to me. It just felt like roommates that
Shitty roommates.
Shitty roommates, because it sounded like they wasn't even fucking. Like, I was
Right.
going to say roommates that fuck, but they wasn't even doing that, apparently. But anyway.
On what? He didn't have no bed.
Bro, I swear. That shit is so crazy to me. Like, how you have that big ass house. But anyway. All right, guys. I can't wait to hear what y'all have to say about it. Yeah.
Join the Discord! Why didn't you say nothing?
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, anyway. But all right, guys. I hope you'll have a really good rest of your day. We had a lot of fun, and it was fun getting back to the basics. It was fun getting back to just having fun instead of trying to work numbers and shit. That shit'll burn you out so fast if you're out there and you're struggling. I see you. I hope that whatever Mercury was doing, I hope she sits the fuck down somewhere and takes a fucking nap. And then also to my people, like, it's September 2nd today, which means we're officially starting to get into fall and spoopy season. And with the spooky season comes the downfall of most people's emotions. So just be proactive. I feel like I'm trying to be proactive, because if I feel this low now, can you imagine how I'm going to feel in a couple months when the anniversary of my dad's like passing comes up? You know what I'm saying? So be proactive. Okay. I care about you guys so much. Please be on the lookout for more information about the White Perp and Friends, and links in bio. I don't remember how we ended this
Comment,
shit.
like, subscribe.
Well,
hit the bell. You get all the notifications
right is that
away.
What the subscribe thing is?
Or you can join the Discord.
Join the
and
Discord.
Get all the notifications that way. And
that's
also
true. Oh my
hang
gosh.
out with us and have fun. And show us your pet, you crazy cat,
show
dog
us your
ladies.
Pets.
I want to see 8 dogs. Okay? All in one picture. That's what I need.
We love you guys. We love you guys, and we'll see y'all next time. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.